Hey guys, and welcome to my stimulus package update and stimulus check update. Wow, I haven't said those words in so long. I want you guys to know that I missed you more than you missed me, and I'm happy I'm back here for you with another video just to give you my perspective on everything that's been going on.
President Biden here said yesterday that he pledges to use every tool at our disposal to limit gas price hikes after imposing new sanctions on Russia. Here's what President Biden said.
As we respond, my administration is using every tool at our disposal to protect American businesses and consumers from rising prices at the pump. As I said last week, defending freedom will have cost for us as well and here at home. We need to be honest about that. But as we do this, I'm going to take robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy, not ours. We're closely monitoring energy supplies for any disruption. We're executing a plan in coordination with major oil-producing consumers and producers toward a collective investment to secure stability in global energy supplies. This will blunt gas prices. I want to limit the pain the American people are feeling at the gas pump. This is critical to me. In the last few days, I've been in constant contact with European leaders, including with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Vice President Harris met in person with the leaders in Germany over the weekend at the Munich conference, including President Zelensky. At every step, we have shown the United States and our allies and partners are working in unison, which he hasn't been counting on, Mr. Putin. We're united in our support of Ukraine. We are united in our opposition to Russian aggression, and we're united in our resolve to defend our NATO alliance, and we're united in our understanding of the urgency and seriousness of the threat Russia is making to global peace and stability.
Meanwhile, President Biden also did recently send out some relief here to some people here. President Biden, as you can see here from Forbes, President Biden cancels $415 million of student loans. But Senator Bernie Sanders says cancel all of the $1.8 trillion of student debt. This is just the latest kind of round of student loan debt cancellation. Here are the details. The latest news for student loan forgiveness shows that Biden canceled $415 million of student loans for more than 16,000 more student loan borrowers. Biden has now canceled nearly $15.5 billion of student loans, which is the most of any president. His latest student loan forgiveness benefits student loan borrowers who attended for-profit colleges. Here is the details. You can see here from the U.S. Department of Education. Education Department approves $415 million in borrower defense claims, including for former DeVry University students. More claims approved related to findings for DeVry University and Westwood College, ITT Technical Institute, and Minnesota School of Business Globe University. Yeah, you can see here, President Biden has canceled over $15 billion of student loans. This is not for everybody. It's for certain people, including schools that have defrauded people, schools that have closed on people, students with permanent disabilities, and people in the public student loan school forgiveness program. Those ones I know about for sure. Bernie Sanders responded with, good, now cancel the remaining $1.8 trillion for the other 45 million other Americans who are still drowning in student loan debt. Bernie Sanders responded in a tweet to President Biden canceling the $415 million of student loans. Yeah, there's a lot of Democrats who want to see $10,000 to $50,000, or in some cases all of the student loan debt cancellation for 45 million Americans. There's about 1 in 6 adults that have student loans as adults, and in some cases, I covered that story the other day, You can see here this from this Sean McCoy, this guy who posted on Twitter. This is kind of the problem with student loan debt. He says, I'm 27 years old. I have $120,000 in student debt from an undergraduate degree. He says, I've been paying $970 a month, almost $1,000 a month for 5 years. And of the nearly $60,000 he's paid in 5 years, only $2,000 of that has gone towards his loan. So this is the problem. Well, he says, I ask again, how the F was this ever legal? Or how was this ever legal? Hashtag cancel student loan debt. So this is the problem here with loans like this, is that they go on forever, and he's paid almost $60,000, and $58,000 approximately of it went to interest, and only $2,000 of it went to principal. How is he ever going to pay off $120,000 in debt? And this is why you hear stories, a lot of stories, of people that pay on this, and they're still paying on it in retirement. It's really sad. It's really sad. I mean, this is just a classic example of why people want to cancel student loan debt, because it's very burdensome. And I get the argument that people say, well, you knew what you were signing up for, right? And I mean, we're talking about, 18 or 19-year-old kids that say, people tell them you got to go to college. You got to sign up for this $100,000 worth of debt. And, I mean, in all fairness, I mean, we paid off my wife's student loan. So I don't have any bad feelings towards like paying off student loan debt for, the government stepping in and helping these people out. We paid off my wife's student loans. But I still think that they should help these people out. Now, remember that the government already spends all the tax dollars they take in, okay? So whether they give out stimulus checks to people who need it, whether they give out SNAP assistance to people who need it, whether they give out Social Security raises to people who need it, whether they give out Social Security raises to people who need it, whether they give out child tax credits to people who need it, whether they give out student loan debt cancellation to people who need it, whether they give out other types of debt forgiveness to people who need it, which I think is a very real possibility in the future. After all this student loan debt cancellation happens, I think there could be other type of debt cancellation. Because remember, student loan debt cancellation used to kind of be a fairy tale. It used to be, years ago, people used to laugh at student loan debt cancellation. They used to say, that'll never happen. That'll never happen. It's a joke. And there's been $15 billion of student loan debt cancellation done in just basically a year. Biden's been president for a year, and honestly, there could be a lot more coming. A lot of Democrats are pushing for $10,000 to $50,000 of student loan debt cancellation for everybody with student loan debt cancellation, and that's a very real possibility because President Biden has said that he is for. He has personally said this himself, doing up to $10,000 of student loan debt cancellation. And if that happens, I also could see a very large push for, well, what about the other 5 out of 6 adults? There could be other type of debt cancellation for everybody else. Because this is just kind of, what the Democrats are all about. They're just kind of like equality for all, right? And if you think that student loan debt cancellation would never happen years ago, well, you see it's happening. Literally just showed you the headlines, right? So other types of debt forgiveness could happen as well. So the IRS or the government and the IRS could easily do other types of debt forgiveness, like tax lien debt forgiveness, mortgage debt forgiveness, because the IRS or the government actually owns the majority of mortgage debt forgiveness through government programs like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Okay, those are actually government-backed programs. They can literally just waive large portions of government mortgage-backed debt there. Okay, tax debt forgiveness, literally just owed to the government. They can just waive it. Okay, with the stroke of a pen, an executive order, for example, just like these student loan debt cancellations are literally just waived, okay? They're not going through Congress. They're not being signed off by the Senate and the House. They're just being waived, okay? Just done. Just signed off on by the Education Secretary. Just poof, gone, okay? So other types of debt that are owned by the government can be done as well, okay? Tax liens, taxes, and mortgage debt, okay? But other types of debt, like credit card debt forgiveness, medical debt forgiveness, or any other type of debt forgiveness could be done as well. But that would probably have to be done, if it's not owned by the government, would have to be done, like credit card debt forgiveness, would probably have to be done through a stimulus package or other types. But when you think about it, that can easily be done through a stimulus package. And when we think about how bad inflation is and how many people are behind on bills, 63% of people are behind on bills right now or living paycheck to paycheck. This is a possibility of something that could happen in the future. And I mean, think about how crazy the world is right now. The government has sent out 3 stimulus checks in the past 2 years just to stimulate the economy. The government has sent out monthly checks to 60 million children just because they were born, okay? The government literally has sent out child support to 60 million children called the child tax credits, okay? The government has waived $15 billion worth of student loan debts just because, okay? So if you think that crazier things haven't happened, I mean, there's literally, just think about those things I just mentioned, right? We've spent trillions of dollars in stimulus, okay? All these things, if you would have asked if the government would do this 50 years ago, people would have looked at you like you were crazy, okay? Absolutely just crazy, right? If people would have asked you if there was a worldwide pandemic 50 years ago, I mean, even 5 years ago, right? If people would have looked at you 5 years ago and said everybody would be wearing masks and getting vaccines and the country would have shut down, I mean, we're just living in a complete different time, right? And I mean, we've sent out 3 stimulus checks, child tax credit monthly checks. I mean, we have states sending out stimulus checks all the time. You've been watching my show. In fact, here's another one. Check this out. Here you go from the Boston Herald. Massachusetts to begin sending out $500 checks to thousands of low-income workers. Literally almost on a weekly basis, I have new checks like this either being announced, going through state legislature, trying to be passed, or literally being sent out here. Multiple different states just all the time. Good on the states, right? We have so many different states doing this here. It's not just California anymore. California is considered another stimulus check for 2022, but we have so many different states, cities, and counties doing this here in 2022, and it's only February. It's only February. We're going to probably see a lot more here going forward. Here's the details on this one. There's a lot of people getting this check. Check this out. The, quote, first round of one-time $500 bonuses will soon be mailed to thousands of low-income workers, the governor's office announced. Quote, our administration has worked quickly to design the parameters for the program with plans to efficiently begin distribution of these payments by the end of March. This program will support these workers who served our communities, especially early in the pandemic, Governor Charlie Baker said in a statement. Charlie Baker is a Republican. The state's Pandemic Essential Employee Premium Pay Program, say that 10 times fast, will distribute $460 million to an estimated 500,000 workers. Whew, that's a lot of people. 500,000 people. The initiative relies on federal virus relief dollars and was initially intended to reward low-income workers who manned the front lines at the height of the pandemic. But the eligibility criteria released by the Baker administration on Tuesday included no such parameters. Lawmakers gave the Baker administration wide leeway to develop the program criteria, and the governor's office said its aim is to ensure this critical support is provided quickly to deserving workers across the Commonwealth. Baker had promised to get the funds out the door by the end of March when he signed the program into law. Eligibility is based on 2020 Massachusetts tax return. Anyone who earned at least $12,750, working at least 20 hours a week for 50 weeks at the then state minimum wage of $12.75 per hour, and their total income did not exceed 300% of the federal poverty level are eligible for the payments. So basically, if you worked at least part-time through the pandemic, it looks like you're eligible. That puts the maximum total income for a single person at $38,000 if you're not over the income limits, and $78,600 for a family of 4. Married filers can be eligible provided that each independently qualifies. Anyone who received unemployment benefits in 2020 and frontline state employees who have received or are in line to receive a one-time bonus of up to $2,000 from the state are not eligible to collect the hazard payouts in the first round of funding.
Alright guys, this is all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really missed you. Hopefully I'll see you here again very, very soon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about here in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you all. Please hit the like button on the video, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notifications bell to be notified that whenever I publish new videos for you. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.